I'm really, really hot. Here we go. Fucking with the best.
Everybody clap your hands. Everybody clap your hands. Everybody clap your hands. Everybody.
Welcome back to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Pride.
I'm really, really hot. That was fresh. I'm really, really hot. Here we go. Fucking with the best.
Everybody clap your hands. Everybody clap your hands. Everybody clap your hands. Everybody.
Welcome back to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Pride.
I'm really, really hot. That was fresh. I'm really, really hot. Here we go. Fucking with the best.
Everybody clap your hands. Everybody clap your hands. Everybody clap your hands. Everybody.
Welcome back to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Pride.
I'm really, really hot. That was fresh. I'm really, really hot. Here we go. Fucking with the best.
Everybody clap your hands. Everybody clap your hands. Everybody clap your hands. Everybody.
Welcome back to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Pride.
I'm really, really hot. That was fresh. I'm really, really hot. Here we go.
I ain't scared of you, motherfucker.
You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price.
Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. So listen responsibly.
It's the best of the best. It's the one and only DJ Ice, Louisville's coldest DJ.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Start the show with Good evening. Welcome to Conscious Fever here on Ice Entertainment Television and Conscious Fever Radio. I am Carl Price, your host here on Ice Entertainment Television. Thanks for joining us tonight. Before I do anything and talk about what we're going to be talking about tonight, I'm going to say that next week, we are going to talk about mental health in the court system. I will be joined by a mental health professional as well as Judge Stephanie Burke. So if you're interested in hearing what we're going to be talking about, please join us next week. here on Conscious Fever. But anyway, tonight on Conscious Fever, here on Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. If you are trying to watch us on Facebook, you probably can't. So you can catch us on YouTube. Just go to the YouTube channel and check us out if you can hear us. I believe that something may have kicked us off. I don't know what it was, but here we are. Anyway, I'm here tonight with Paul Mullins, and Paul and I tonight are going to talk about a number of things. A number of things that we're going to talk about. Let me see if I can navigate what we got going on here, Paul. This is going to be our topic tonight. The latest presidential polls. Harris is ahead. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Louisville men's basketball team. Paul is going to educate us on the comparison from last year and this year. And we're going to talk about the chicken wings. Chicken wings worth $1.5 million. Get a young lady. Well, she's 68 years old, Paul. Got her 9 years in jail. What do y'all think about that? Yeah. Anyway, I'm Carl Price. This is Conscious Fever here on Ice Entertainment Television. We're going to deal with our technical difficulties tonight and move on. So right after this quick break, I'm going to bring Paul Mullins in, and we are going to talk about I don't know what our first topic is. The first topic, chicken wing lady. I'll be right back.
I don't want them, no, get them all off me. Say that for hell, she'll cause a scene. 4 cars deep, we'll come through on a lane night. Chicken spot, wings and fries, we call that a day night. Lights on, so out, I don't have no stage fright. Knew that I was built for this forever, ever.
You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price.
We ride dance, 10 times 10, all my friends, this for real.
And we are back with more Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price, Esquire.
All right, welcome back to Conscious Fever here on Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. I am Carl Price, your host. Hey, listen, we're going to talk about a few things tonight. One of the things that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about a former food service director at a school district in Chicago. And you see the image next to me. So the story goes like this. A former food service director at a school district in Chicago, in the Chicagoland area, she's been sentenced to 9 years in prison after admitting that she stole $1.5 million worth of chicken wings, according to news reports. Her name is Vera Liddell. She served in the director's role for Harvey School District 152 near Chicago. She's incarcerated at the Cook County Jail for theft and operating a criminal enterprise. That's according to WGN and ABC News and CBS News. She pled guilty on August 9th to the charges and got a 9-year prison sentence. The outlets said they were citing the source as the prosecutor. Liddell, 68 years old, stole mounds of meat intended to be take-home meals for students learning remotely during the COVID-19 pandemic, according to WGN, a news station in Chicago, and they cite the source of the prosecutors there in Cook County. So the question, Paul, that we're going to be talking about tonight, and then we're going to just briefly talk about, is how did Vera Liddell steal the chicken wings? According to WGN and the Chicago Tribune, Liddell was the food service director for Harvey School District 152. Beginning in July 2020, she picked up and delivered more than 11,000 cases of chicken wings in her personal cargo van for nearly 2 years. The intended beneficiaries were children forced to learn remotely because of the coronavirus. Parents were encouraged to pick up the food at their discretion. Liddell, however, reappropriated the food for her own personal use. And Liddell's job involved placing orders with Gordon Food Service, y'all know it as GFS, a main supplier for the school district, according to prosecutors and according to ABC News. She placed the orders and did the billing, but kept the chicken wings between July 2020 and February 2022, according to prosecutors. The massive fraud, it was said, began at the height of the COVID during a time when students were not allowed to be physically present in school, according to a pro-offer that was read about Liddell's bond in 2023, and that's according to WGN. Even though the children were learning remotely, the school district continued to provide meals for the students that were that was there for their families or for their families to pick up. The chicken theft operation was discovered in 2023 when an adult found that the district's food service department exceeded its annual budget by $300,000 halfway through the school year. And that's according to ABC News and the prosecutors. Now, the business manager for the district then found the invoices for the chicken wings, which was odd because it is a food item that wouldn't be served to students because they contain bones, the outlet said, citing court records. USA Today, which is somebody else who reported this story, reached out to GFS but got no response. And this article or this discussion originated first on USA Today. So, Paul, wow, your thoughts?
I guess the school board suspected foul play.
Foul play? Is that what it said?
I'm just saying.
Foul in terms of a bad chicken?
Yeah, foul
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
A lot of people are. I know what the rest of the story is. I know what you want to get to, but I mean, if she had stolen, and I had this conversation with you, Carl, if she had stole $1.5 million in autos, would anybody be mad that she got 9 years? If she stole $1.5 million in jewelry, would anybody be mad? The fact that it's food doesn't matter to me. I know she's 68. I mean, that's somebody's grandma, but dang, sister was getting paid. I mean, if she's just taking the chicken and giving it away, that's one thing, but I saw an article that said she stole those 11,000 cases of chicken. That's not 11,000 pieces, y'all. That's 11,000 cases of chicken.
11,000 cases.
Cases of chicken. And so I looked up Gordon Foods and said, if I wanted to buy a case of chicken, how much would it be? It's about $60 a case.
Wow.
So that's just regular food chicken preparation for a restaurant. $60 a case. So you take 11,000, you multiply by 60,000. I mean, $60 a case. And you get about, over $500,000.
Okay.
In 4 months.
Right. So here's the other part of this, Paul. Here's the other part of this. And I know you disagreed with this part of this story, but I'm going to tell everybody about this. So NFL superstar Chris Jones, the Kansas City Chiefs, volunteered to cover the loss of $1.5 million worth of chicken wings that this lady stole. So according to him, she should be could be released from prison. Now, Jones, the most dominant defensive lineman in the NFL and a Super Bowl winner, just inked a colossal 5-year, $158.75 million deal with the Kansas City Chiefs back in March of this year. Therefore, $1.5 million amounts to pocket change for him. Now, the Tower and Gridiron star told his 300,000 plus ex-followers, "I'll pay for the wings," quote, that she stole to get her free, close quote. Upon learning that, Jones offered to pay for the food so Liddell would not languish in prison. Many folks, however, Paul, on Twitter, or X, as we know it to be now, told him to appropriate his energies and resources elsewhere. Quote, "She was hungry and fed her family, and they want to give her 9 years." One person raged about that. One person said this, Paul, "But let rapists run around the streets getting probation and shit. Our justice system is wild. Free the wing queen," according to, and a lot of this story, Paul, came from rollingout.com.
I get that she's 68, and you got to take into account that a 68 person committed a theft crime. But if you want me to believe that she spent stole all that chicken for her family, you got to be kidding me. A case, 11,000 cases. Let's think about that, y'all. 11,000 cases. Even if you broke that down to over 2 years, which it wasn't, that would be 21 cases a day for 2 years, Monday through Friday, assuming that she couldn't get deliveries on Saturday and Sunday. That's a lot. Your family's eating 21 cases of chicken. No, Carl, that's just crap. So I don't think that we should be saying that it's a nothing case, and I can't believe you stole $1.5 million worth of food. It wasn't just that she stole the food; it was that the food should have been spent by the school board to help children who are hungry. So basically, the scheme went like this, Carl. She ordered for the school district as the exclusive person to order for that school district, okay? And when she was making orders for the school district, she ordered additional cases for herself, all right? And it doesn't sound like, because the school district has a bunch, and so she would order the extra for herself. Well, I suppose at some point it became lucrative because I'm sure her family didn't eat all that chicken. And so, as you said before, the audit found out when they said, hey, this budget halfway through the school year is already $300,000 over budget for the entire school year. So that means she just got a little greedy. And so basically she had this scheme, okay, and the wings were hot, right?
I guess.
Yeah. And I guess she thought, she could get away with it. She wasn't winging it, she had a scheme. I got tons of them. But it's just crazy for people to think that she's completely innocent. It's probably her and a lot more people. I don't think she got.
Well, you think this was some big conspiracy?
You had to unload those wings somewhere, and I wouldn't be surprised. And I'm not saying that this has happened. I wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't delivering those wings to local restaurants. What is she gonna do with all of 20 cases a day? So, how many wings are in a case of wings?
Maybe she was delivering them to who? Bobo or somebody? I mean,
Carl,
apparently
apparently
she made a great deal of money.
The 21 cases might be 2,100 wings. That's a restaurant. She's delivering that to a restaurant.
$1.5 million worth.
All right. We're not talking about small amounts. And again, my standard is if she stole 1.5 million in motor vehicles, if she stole 1.5 million in anything else, we'd all be like, oh yeah, well, I know she's old, but she got to do a little time. So maybe she gets out on what in our system in Kentucky we have shop probation. Surely she's eligible for shop. But I mean, to say you stole 1.5 million and we ain't gonna do anything to you, hell, everybody just get their grandfather to do the scheme for them.
So you think 9 years is inappropriate for somebody who just hold on, somebody just like a person on Twitter commented that or X commented that rapists are going free, and she gets 9 years.
Rapists are not going free.
You think rapists are most rapists are getting at least 9 years in the penitentiary?
Most rapists are getting way more than that. And the problem is that in our society we take we take one case and we extrapolate that to be the situation for every case. And there may be one rapist who got off or got his case, lowered or whatever. But if we're just talking about Kentucky, if you were convicted of rape in Kentucky, rape 1, that's a charge that's going to carry, 20 years. Right?
Okay, but Paul, this is a theft. And at least where we practice law, thefts, unless you're just habitual over a 20, 30-year period, theft offenders normally don't get more than 2 or 3 years.
Okay, so it's your belief that, because there's two things you got to consider. It's your belief that stealing a car and getting an auto theft charge and getting a reduced or licensed or probated sentence is the same as stealing $1.5 million worth of merchandise. You think that somebody in Kentucky, you'd have a case on TV that says somebody stole $1.5 million and they got probation?
It's food.
To say it's food is to say that it's not really. No. To say that it's food is to diminish and say that the stolen items didn't have value. But the problem is that you took food, a company paid that amount for the food, and you kept the benefit. And again, there's no way you can tell me that she ate $1.5 million worth of chicken. I don't believe it.
Look at what Monique said.
What?
Winging it.
So yeah, she's winging it.
Or not winging it, she
not
said.
Winging it, right. She had a plan.
Not winging it.
She had a plan. She wasn't winging it. She's coming off what I said.
Yeah. But
there's a lot of chicken comments we can say, but she clucked up,
She was?
She clocked up. Oh man, yeah, she got caught. So listen. At the end of the day, I don't feel sorry for her. I feel sorry for her family because I think her family is probably the real culprits.
But hold on, Paul. I want to go back to this idea that you think.
Scheme.
Yeah. So you think that but Monique says that was very methodical. But here's the thing. So I just want to make sure you and I are on the same page because it sounds like you're saying that you believe that 9 years for a 68-year-old woman. And I understand we have a man running for president that got 34 felony counts.
Right.
He hasn't served a day yet. He's been out on bond, as a matter of fact. But hold on a second. So we had a 68-year-old woman who has, she said not clucked up. Keep them coming, Paul. 68-year-old woman who is, who basically stole edible items. Hold on. Let me just finish. No, I'm going to be real quick here. That's what she stole. And really what's driving this story is that it was during COVID and everybody thinks that during COVID was just such a bad period. And it was for a lot of us. However, the real thing that's driving this is the fact that you add the child component. Like right. These were it was up to the parents' discretion to come and get them. So it's not like there were hungry kids waiting to get fed. Hold on. Not like hungry kids waiting to get fed.
I don't think that's the story. I think the story is from what I've read, she went to pick up the delivers and they never got delivered. And if it was a situation where she was ordering for the school and the people just didn't come pick up the food, then she wouldn't have had ordered for the school and then ordered extra for herself. That was a scheme. It was a scheme to make money off those wings. And the bigger issue is, okay, ma'am, where are all the wings? You know why we can't find all the wings? They're at restaurants.
You think she sold them to restaurants as well?
How do you unload 21 cases of wings a day? A day. You get 21 cases of wings today and you try to get rid of them. Who you going to feed? Fine. Then you got one another day. Then you got one another day. This is for 4 months straight. 21 cases for 4 months.
I think she was feeding a lot. I think she was either feeding a lot of families or she got a big family. Okay, I'm from a family of 16. If you brought 11,000 cases of chicken to our household in 2 years, we would have been straight.
It's not 11,000 in 2 years. It's over 11,000, and the 11,000 was between August and November of 2022. That's how she got caught during an audit. Okay, so you've used 11,000 cases in 4 months. You were not using that for food. You were using that to make a business.
You see that comment? Supply chain. She had another account open. She was servicing.
Right.
I bet there is a family business somewhere she was supplying.
I'm telling you, you can't get rid of 11,000 cases. You can't get rid of 11,000 cases of chicken wings just eating them in 2 years, and that was in 4 months. That was a scheme, and originally they charged her with racketeering, but she pled down. Maybe she didn't tell on who the other people were, but originally they charged her with a racketeering scheme. And the problem is that she would pick the wings up in a school van, not her van, in a school van, and of course Gordon would give her the product, send her an invoice, and she didn't go to the school board and said, "Oh, that invoice is mine." No, she let the school board pay it.
Yeah, look at that. He said, Troy says, and thanks for joining in, Troy, from the Bay Area out in California, where Kamala Harris is from, by the way. Happened to my donut in Akron at the City Center Athletic Club. His manager did that. Oh, can we bring that back? His manager did that. He lost $2.3 million in 2 years. Donuts?
No, he's in a donut shop in Akron, Ohio.
Oh, okay. I got it. Renee, thanks for joining us tonight, Renee. That's a lot of chicken wings. Was she in the catering business? You think she was in the catering business?
We didn't get that part of the story. I can't find it anywhere, but you got to tell me how you unloaded 11,000 chicken wings in 4 months. 11,000 cases of chicken wings in 4 months.
It's a lot of. Well, I'm gonna get in trouble when I say this, but there's a lot of black folks in Chicago.
Yeah, but
Harvey's right outside of Chicago.
I mean, if she's doing a Robin Hood, if she's doing a Robin Hood and robbing from the rich and giving to the poor, where she's just giving the wings away for free, Somebody tell me that, but that's still stealing. Like even if you work for a company, give me any other company, Amazon, and you decide Amazon has all these boxes of food going through, and you're just like, well, I'm gonna keep 11,000 boxes and just give them away to the people on my computer. You're still stealing at the end of the day, and that's stealing. And so if we start getting into what she stole and why she stole it, then we might as well just start absolving people for stealing. If she was hungry and she stole enough for her family to eat a couple of times, this is another story. If she stole cars, this would be a nothing story. We wouldn't even hear about it. The only reason why we're hearing about it is because of chicken wings, because it's chicken wings. Who steals $11 million, what is $1 million worth of chicken wings?
Well,
That's why it's a story.
Listen, Paul, at the end of the day, I'm just going to state my case. You can state your case. I truly believe that 9 years for a 68-year-old woman for stealing what we all know to be edibles.
All right.
It's just food that, it was not going to be around another month.
So
Okay.
Can I pose two questions to you?
Well, hold on one second. It's not going to be around for another month. And just like the commenter said on Twitter, he said that, there are people getting more time. I mean, hell, she got more time than some police officers got for shooting young black males, So I'm not sure if I'm okay with that. Now, I will tell you, I hate to use the word hate, but I don't like thieves at all. I think thieves are some of the scum of the earth, and they are the worst to be around and live with, et cetera, et cetera. But I think that what is the lesson to be taught here? It's not like she's going to go and do it again. The half of her life is, most of her years are behind her.
Well,
She's less in front of her than she does behind her.
She'll get paroled and probated. What would you do if she was 23?
If it was the first time, you know what's going to happen. She's going to get probation.
No. If she was 23 and the facts were exactly the same, what do you think? What do you think would be excessive? She's 23 years old. She still stole 1.5 million. She still don't know what she did with it. What would you do?
Paul, listen.
Listen. Do you think 9 years would be too much for a 23?
I think 9 years. So I think in our profession, we know that people don't get a lot of time for theft charges.
But you get more time based on how much was stolen.
Well, that's not necessarily true because that's considered a white collar crime, right?
Show me somebody who stole 1.5 million.
Do you agree with me that technically it is considered a white collar crime?
Yes, but tell me no.
Why isn't that a white collar crime?
I don't know.
Why isn't that the same crime?
Just tell me
like
somebody
Martha Stewart
who stole
committed.
Martha Stewart went to prison.
I understand. 5 years.
Okay.
Only 5 years, and that was in the federal system. We're talking about a state system that don't send people to prison for an exorbitant
Martha Stewart went for 5
amount
years.
of time.
Martha Stewart went for 5 years, and she didn't steal 1.5 million. She stole a couple hundred. I don't know what she.
This is for you, Paul. Look at that comment.
Paul is usually dry, but he's like talking about chicken.
He's got a Kamala Harris laugh, y'all.
Is that what that is?
I guess it's close to it. I don't know what Renee is saying, "Oh Lord," to, but one of us must have said something that caused her to say, "Oh Lord." She said
agreed. She agreed to me, obviously.
Yeah. Now she's screaming.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, don't go out and steal chicken, y'all. I know we black. I know we like chicken, but
what's up with this race? So anyway, we have hammered that to death, and we're going to continue to take your comments. So continue to send your comments, Paul. We're going to step away just for 5-10 seconds, and then we're going to come right back, and we are going to talk about. Let's talk about the polls real quick when we come back. It's Conscious Fever. I'm Carl Price here on Ice Entertainment. Carl Price here on Ice Entertainment Television. That's what I should be. Carl Price, Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. We'll be right back.
Tell them run it on. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I tell them run it on. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turn to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number 1 up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady. The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy. Put in my hours, send the invoice and they pay me.
All right, welcome back to Conscious Fever here on Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. I am Carl Price, your host. Paul, there's another story here that we were going to talk about tonight. Let's talk about Kamala Harris and her phenomenal performance so far. So, y'all, if y'all are following this election cycle, I know it's hard to sometimes because they keep showing Donald Trump, but the polls are consistently showing that Vice President Kamala Harris leading the former president Donald Trump since becoming the official Democratic presidential nominee, with the latest survey showing Harris up 4 points. The fourth poll this week that found she would beat Trump if the election were held today. Harris leads 50% to 46%, with 5% of the voters undecided, in an Emerson College poll of 1,000 likely voters that was released today. Just one poll this week, taken by Fox News and released Thursday, found Trump leading 50% to 49%. Take that with a grain of salt. It was taken by Fox News. Some 48% of registered voters polled by Monmouth University in a survey released Wednesday said they will definitely or probably vote for Harris in November, compared to 43% who said they would definitely or probably vote for Trump. An economist at YouGov poll taken August 11 through the 13th also found 46% of registered voters will cast their ballots for Harris, while 44% would vote for Trump in a five-way race with third-party candidates on the ballot. The vice president leads Trump 47% to 44% in Morning Consult's latest poll released Monday of this week, with 4% of registered voters surveyed selecting quote-unquote someone else, and 4% saying they don't know. The fourth week in a row, Morning Consult's weekly poll has Trump trailing Harris. Now, Harris leads in at least three other surveys taken this month. A Reuters Ipsos poll released last Thursday found that Harris leads 42% to 37%. An NPR PBS News Amaris poll released last Tuesday shows Harris polling 48% to 45% over Trump. She also leads Trump by 1 point nationally in a CBS News poll that was released on August 4th. At least 8 other polls since President Joe Biden dropped out of the race, most show Harris denting Trump's lead over Biden and her approval rating ticking up since she announced her candidacy. Trump led Harris, by the way, by 1 point, 48% to 40% in the New York Times Siena poll that was conducted between July 22nd and July 24th. 2 points, 49% to 47% in the July 23 to 25th poll, Wall Street Journal poll, and by 2 points, 47 to 45 in a Harris x Forbes online survey released June 26. Here's the big numbers. What's the big number here? That's how many points Harris leads Trump by in Real Clear Politics' latest polling average. Meanwhile, 538's weighted average shows Harris with a 2.7 lead. Now, here's a surprising fact that the Monmouth University poll found Democratic enthusiasm has nearly doubled since Harris entered into the race, from 46% in June to 85% now, while enthusiasm among Republicans has stayed stagnant at 71%. So how does Harris perform against Trump in the swing states? Harris leads Trump by 1 point overall in the 7 battleground states likely to decide the election: Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Nevada, Arizona, North Carolina, and Georgia, according to a Cook Political Report survey released Wednesday. Harris also leads Trump in 5 of the 7 states, is tied with him in Georgia, and is trailing Trump by 3 points in Nevada, according to the Cook poll. Now, the contra to this is that the Trump campaign pollster Tom Fabrizio predicted a short-term bump in polls for Harris in the coming weeks as her interest into the race is expected to re-energize Democrats, referring to the anticipated boost as a Harris honeymoon in a memo released shortly after the Reuters Ipsos poll was made public. Here's the key background. Biden dropped out of the race on July 21st after resisting calls from within his own party, the Democratic Party, for weeks to end his re-election bid. In the wake of his disastrous performance in the June 27 debate, now Biden immediately endorsed Harris, and she announced plans to seek the nomination. The party has quickly gathered around her, with 99% of Democratic delegates voting to officially nominate her in the virtual roll call that concluded last week. The following day, Harris announced Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate, weeks after Trump announced Senator J.D. Vance as his pick for vice president at the start of the Republican National Convention on July 18th. Now, Democrats hold their convention next week, August 19th to the 22nd in Chicago. Now, Paul, very interesting here, right? Very interesting. Here we have. So I know you wanted to. I think you saw some comments,
yeah.
right? It's a comment that caught your interest.
They call it fake news.
Oh, they call it fake news. Who called it fake news?
Tony, Troy. Down.
No. Let me just go back. Let's just get everybody's comments. So Monique said to something there. Oh my goodness, Paul laughs.
Monique's on me, man.
I think she's been watching, man.
See.
I'm good. Not giving up my guns. I'm good. Troy, please tell me you're not one of those. It's okay to love the Second Amendment. I'm just saying, what a beautiful thing to see, sir. Not sure what that is, Renee, but your picture looks pretty good. That's her picture. Her face of picture. You see that? It's pretty good.
Go ahead.
Did you ask if she was single?
No. Go
Why
ahead.
don't you ask if she was single? Are you single, Renee? Are you single? Not in this America. I don't know what that was for, Troy. And then Troy says that was fake news that I was reading.
Right.
I don't think it's too fake.
Fake news.
Look who's reporting it. Fake news. Yeah. Oh, what's the margin of error with this poll?
So let me speak to their comments because they kind of got.
So speak to that comment.
Well, they got.
Speak to that comment.
I don't know what the exact margin of error is yet.
Speak that comment.
Yes, I am, sir. Okay, Renee. All right. Okay. We caught you later. So
okay, so let's talk about these poll numbers. Let me just say this real quick. Then I'm gonna let you take it over. At the end of the day, something fantastic has happened since Kamala Harris has joined this race, and everybody said that it was a honeymoon. They were suggesting that it was a honeymoon. And Paul, I know a lot of people who have gotten married. You were once married. I don't know if the honeymoon lasts. Most honeymoons last a day and a half, sometimes a weekend, sometimes a week. But here we are.
We're not going to know the real Kamala Harris and how presidential she's going to be until after this convention when she's got the spotlight and she's on the stage and how she performs. I don't think she's going to screw it up. I just don't. But I will be the first to say, and Carl, you got to admit this too, we are eating crow right now because we did not think it was a good idea to drop Joe Biden. And it turns out I'll be first to say I was wrong. I didn't expect this kind of quick rally to a candidate. I thought there'd be a fight over a candidate, and I thought that would be bad for the Democrats.
I thought it was a good idea, Paul,
You did not.
when I realized that it would be Kamala
You did
Harris.
not.
But
we had a whole show
but
about
go ahead.
We had a whole show. I mean, just be truthful to the people. We had a whole show right before they switched Kamala out, and we were like both agreeing that they should keep Biden in. And I'm just telling you that I was wrong. Now that I see what happened, I'm man enough to say, hey, you know what? Y'all made a better decision than I made, and I love it. And I'm just telling you that. But we were both on the show, your show, right before they switched. We said, no, that's not a good idea. It was the same week that Joe was thinking about getting out. Then that following week, he jumped out. And I was still a little nervous, but I'm not nervous anymore. I just think that she's got more energy. Now, something we did talk about was a long time ago, we thought before Trump announced, before he became the official candidate, we thought the first person who put a young candidate, whether it was Nikki Haley, because I thought she might be the nominee, whoever puts a younger candidate is going to blow the other one away, and that's proven to be true. But I thought it was too late in the game to switch her, so I was wrong. I think she's going to, it feels like Obama again, in a way. And I think as long as she doesn't totally, shit the bed in the next week, she's a shoo-in.
What did you say?
Well, you know what that means, shit the bed. That means like you get in there and like fumble over your words and just look stupid. I don't think it's going to happen. But
Paul,
as long as she doesn't do that, she's going to win.
I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. Paul is always cussing on this show.
It's a nighttime show. After 10.
Monique says it looks like a coup to me. Coup. What is a coup, Monique?
A coup. She's saying
a coup.
She's saying
a coup. She said coup.
No, that's how you spell it. Coup. Come on, be educated. But what she means is that because Biden just left office and they didn't re-elect or re-nominate Kamala Harris, that they're just kind of kicking Biden out and putting her in like she's saying it's a coup, like they just took over, forced them out and took over. That's the Republican talking point. The Democrats are free to select whatever candidate they want, just like the Republicans are free to select whatever candidate they want. The Republicans can't tell the Democrats who to pick any more than the Democrats can tell the Republicans who to pick. So if the Democrats didn't even want to have a primary and decided that's the person that their party is going to select, which is the way it was in the past, prior to 1960, that's their prerogative. So I don't have a problem
I'm
with
not
that.
flirting, Monique, but go ahead, Paul.
I'm not. That's their prerogative. Monique, it's not a coup. It would only be a coup if Kamala Harris decided that she wasn't going to, certify the election, that she was going to remain in office, that she was going to call on all her supporters to storm the Capitol. Those things are closer to a coup than anything else. So it's a shame that people think that's a coup, but that's clearly not a coup. So at the end of the day, I think Kamala's got a Obama-like swell in popularity and following. I think she got put in place at just the right time before they can dig up too much dirt on her or anything bad that they want to say. But really,
That's if there's any dirt on her.
well, I'm saying they'll say, well, she hasn't done anything, this and that. And even if that's true, that's good in politics because that means you haven't done anything to cause you not to get elected, even if you're saying that they haven't done anything to get elected. So right now, it comes down to, are people going to like her and vote for her? And all she has to do is go to the convention next week and convince people that they're making the right decision, and it's a shoo-in.
No cussing, Paul.
Who said that?
Renee said that. Renee looks to be very nice looking.
After 9 o'clock, I get a little crazy, though.
Hope is a mistake. If you can't fix what's broke, it will drive you insane. Troy, I'm going to go back to a comment that you made. I thought it was kind of interesting. Let's talk common sense. A white woman couldn't get the office. Now food on Hope again. You thinking a black woman going to cut line of a white woman?
What?
That's already happened, Troy.
He sent a white woman.
Right. But Hillary ran against Obama, and Obama got it. So, Troy, you're going to have to come with something just a tad.
Well,
bit
I
more.
think he said a white woman couldn't get in. I think he's talking about Hillary couldn't get in, but Hillary ran against Trump, who was a populist, and he had, believe it or not, in his base, he had an Obama-like following where people just got energized to go vote for him. And that's all it takes to win an election. See, a lot of people might say they're Republican or Democrat, but if you ain't motivated to go vote and you're like, oh, shoot, I forgot to vote today, that's the difference in a race.
Who's Anita Greek? Anita Greek votes got Biden there. Will it work for her? I think Harris is going to win. I'm glad that y'all think she isn't, but only time will tell.
So the thing is that
Such a potty mouth.
There's 3 or 4. So there's 3 or 4. I will stop cussing, y'all. This is a family show, I guess. But I mean, did I say really bad words? I don't usually cuss, by the way. I'm just being honest with y'all.
Say some words.
Is that true, Carl? I don't usually cuss.
If you wouldn't say it in church, you probably shouldn't say it here. Woman not going to get the office in Man America was my point. White woman couldn't, black woman will, doubtful. Okay,
Well, I mean,
Paul,
she will.
Paul, you're living in the 60s, bro.
she
I mean,
will.
I'm sorry, Troy, you're living in the 60s.
She will get it if we go out and vote for her. If you just think she won't win and you won't vote, that's fine. Yes, I am, Monique.
Damn, are y'all giving all the love to Paul tonight?
I'm not taking over your show.
God. No, you're not taking over my show. I'm just wondering, normally, you're the one that they
sound dry and humorless.
that
But
they
I'm
really
not. That's not my personality.
they really, turn, pile it on for you. Anyway, we're at the 15-minute mark. Paul, let's talk about U of L basketball. We can continue to take the comments in reference to what you call. So we're going to talk about U of L basketball because,
you too, Carl.
huh?
They love you too.
We love you too. Thank you, we love you too, Mr. Price. Thank you, Renee. I appreciate that. But we are going to ooh la la. They're killing us tonight, Paul.
We got dates tonight.
No, I guess we got dates tonight. Might be too late. I rise at 4:30 every morning. I got to get to bed. Don't have to leave. I don't have to go to bed alone. Anyway, remember I didn't say that because this is a family show. Don't say or hear what you wouldn't say in church. Anyway, when we come back, we're going to talk about Louisville men's basketball. But you need to hear this. We'll be right back.
It's the best of the best. It's the one and only.
You can't handle the truth.
You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price.
All right, welcome back to Conscious Fever here on Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio, Chicken Wings, Harrods Lee's, and U of L men's basketball with two M's there. And I hope y'all
Yens.
men's, two men's there. There we go. We got that correct. Anyway, let's talk about University of Louisville basketball just real quick, and then we're going to get out of here, right? Many of y'all remember that when the head coach of a major collegiate, generally when the head coach of a major collegiate athletics program is dismissed from their post, customarily, usually, there is some form of final communication from the dismissed party. Whether it be in the form of a statement or a press conference, more often than not, usually that coach will give some sort of final goodbye. It took over many months, over 2 months for Kenny Payne, who was fired as the head coach of the Louisville men's basketball program. And in that time, we heard no such goodbye. His last public comments came after the Cardinals' season-ending loss to Boston College in the ACC tournament, where he essentially threw both his players and the U of L fans under the bus. 70-plus days later, Payne finally spoke, or finally broke his silence. Payne reunited with John Calipari, as you know, as the associate head coach at Arkansas. In a 96-second clip posted on X, Payne discussed his firing at his alma mater. And this is what he said, Paul. What preceded was yet another instance where Payne failed to take any sort of accountability whatsoever, saying that he, quote, was on the right page at Louisville. I'm at Louisville. That was my alma mater, he said. We decided to part ways. They decided to part ways, so you question yourself as a coach, he said. And then when it's over, the conversations that happen around the country. Numerous NBA teams, numerous college teams and programs say, Kenny Payne, we want you to be a part of what we're doing. We know exactly what happened. And then you realize, you really was on the right page. Paul? Talk to me, man. Was he on the right page?
No, when we had a show on this one, and he was, what did he get, 4 wins and 8 wins? He got 12 wins in 2 seasons. And I said to you, whoever the next coach was, one of our last shows right before he got fired, I said, the next coach will come in and win twice as many games as he won this year, right. 16. And I've been watching this team. They played 2 games in the Bahamas, and we already look like a completely well-managed team. Now, I still think we'll win 16 games. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not saying we have a Final Four team or a great team. We got a team that at least looks like they know how to play basketball. So they had 2 games. One was they both were in Bahamas, and they were against no good teams. I get that. But I remember when Kenny played against no good teams. We didn't win by any large margins. Louisville scored 111 points in both games. I can't think of how many times Louisville scored 100 points under Kenny Payne, but I would take the over-under at 1. The over-under at 1, because I don't think there was more than one game where Kenny Payne scored 100 points. This coach came in and scored 100 points twice. Now, you can say, well, he didn't play anybody. There's plenty of games where Kenny Payne didn't play anybody, and we still lost. I remember losing to Bellarmine.
Okay? Now, this game is a game in the Bahamas, right?
Yes. So we got some good players out there. I'm having a hard time remembering their names, but that guy's name is Noah something. He played in the second game. He's really good. Tall white kid, 6'10", can shoot the threes. You've got another kid who looks like he's black, but maybe albino. I'm sorry, Kayshawn. I can't remember.
Race doesn't matter, y'all.
Okay, yes, and I wish I knew his number, but he's got a spiky blonde mohawk. Really good players out there. These guys are not just really good players; they're older players, which is going to help us out this year. I feel really good about U of L basketball coming back. It's akin to when Brian Brom came in. It just gives the base a new energy, and we'll go support the team again. But Kenny Payne was not a good coach, and it's hard to win 4 games in a season and not 5. It's hard. You got to work extra hard to win 4 games only. And what it came down to is he could not coach. I said this early on in his first year. I was on him. I'm good friends with Derwin Webb. Derwin Webb is friends with him because I think they were on close to the same team. And I would tell Derwin that I just wasn't happy. I had another client who was part of his team, who's an older player, and I was just be upfront. I'm not the type of person to sugarcoat things just to keep everything smooth. You asked me my opinion, Kenny Payne. You're Kenny Payne's best friend. You went to his wedding, whatever it is. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I think, and it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. So I went through the entire second year of Kenny Payne, not sugarcoating it. and I was done with him in January of the first year because I just knew he couldn't coach. This guy, he brought in some players he had nobody on the squad. Everybody on Kenny Payne's team quit on him. Or maybe they ran off. I don't know. But he had to assemble a whole new team. When he first took over, we had like 1 or 2 kids on our team, and I thought, oh my God, what's going to happen? We have nobody on our team. He pulled in 12, 15 good players, and they look like they're all playing together. They may not be all NBA players or superstar quality, but he's got some good players, and I'll go out and support them.
Yeah, but and lest we forget that Kenny Payne's tenure at Louisville was nothing short of just a morbid disaster. The second year head coach, right, who had previously never been a head coach at any level, finished with just a 12-52 record with the Cardinals. This includes a 5-35 in regular season ACC games, 128 in road neutral site games, and 0 for 19 in quad one net games. In his first year at the helm, during the 22-23 season, the Cardinals were one of the worst teams in high major basketball, getting blown out on their nightly basis and regularly setting new program records for overall futility. They finished just 4-28 overall and 2-18 in ACC play. Now, more than surpassing the program's previous record for most losses in a single season of 20 from the 1997-98 season. U of L finished in the 22-23 season at number 219 out of 362 Division I teams by Ken Pom, dipping as low as 305.
Think about that.
Right.
305th.
Right, now heading into
and I can coach.
Yeah, there was some hope that Louisville would rebound, right, in 23 and 24. They could maybe experience a bounce back. But overall, the offseason, the Cardinals were able to flip the roster, bringing in number 6 high school recruiting class and number 29 transfer portal class for 247 sports, and were able to avoid major punishment in the NBA. However, year 2 under Payne was also plagued by consistent failure. Louisville finished with an 8-24 overall record that past season to clinch back-to-back 20 losses season for the first time in program history. They struggled to put away teams in their Week 9 conference schedule. 309th, Paul.
So all those
in
people,
D1.
All those people claiming, well, you went to the Bahamas and you didn't play anybody. Proof in the pudding. 309th, what was it? Ranked schedule, and you couldn't beat them. Your schedule's ranked 309th. That means somebody said, okay, we're going to put him with the weakest of the week and see if he can win. And he can still only win 8 games. Come on, man.
Right.
Come on, make it make sense. He couldn't coach. We can't say keep Kenny because he's black. We can't keep Kenny because he's a former U of L player. Stop it. It actually does black folks a disservice when there's other coaches out there. Now school's like, do we hire this black coach because U of L kept Kenny Payne because they had to? No. When we as fans see terrible coaching, call it out, black or white. It was terrible coaching, y'all.
Ooh la la. Monique says, ooh la la. I don't know what Troy's looking at. I'm getting back. Early bird gets the worm. Think you can beat me over her crib? I think that's what she's saying. Who are you going to bed with tonight, Carl? Unfortunately, I'm going to sleep with 2 people tonight.
Damn.
Me, myself, and I.
Oh, okay.
All right? We're going to be cozy in the bed. The shade, here we go about Kenny Payne. He cannot coach.
You can't.
And
100%.
Renee hopes that the season's going to be better. I hope I'm not too forward in saying you're a very good-looking man, Mr. Price. Oh, okay. Thank you, Renee. I thought you was talking about Kenny Payne. I thought you was talking about the coaching. We need to get Renee and Carl together.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So
oh, gosh.
But
anyway,
I know we're boring y'all now with the Kenny Payne story.
Right. We are. We'll get back to the juicy
Kenny,
stuff as well.
Kenny Payne left, threw shade at Louisville, and then we got a coach who came in, a lot of energy. I heard the guy speak. I heard his players speak. He just has a lot of energy, and sometimes, a low energy coach projects low energy from his players. But I watched the games. We look like we're going to be back to that Rick Pitino style of shooting threes after threes after threes, and they just look like overall, it's early in the season, so everybody's not been scouted yet.
That's the guy you were talking about with the blonde hair.
So I watched both games. I'm excited about it. I will roll with them if they lose, but right now at least they look like they're well coached. They
They're
were in
really
the
well
right
coached.
spots at the right times. The offense look organized. They play defense. I mean, you got this guy right here dribbling right here. He can jump out of the gym. He's blocking shots. They're passing the ball a lot. Now, it all's going to come down to can they hit the shots, and that'll determine whether or not they're a good team, a great team, or just an okay team. But I like what I see so far.
Yeah, but you know what was really interesting, Paul, and I think we talked about it and we laughed about it last year. But all the 12 scholarship players from Louisville, from the team from last year, entered the portal after Payne was fired.
Right.
But Kelsey and his staff have done a masterful job on the roster construction front. He's bringing in 12 D1 transfers and 1 high school prospect, with his portal class ranking number 1 nationally, according to 2 on 3. Interesting.
So basically, Pat Kelsey came in, and all the other players left, and I had a player in my office who I represented. I'm not gonna say his name out, but he was a former U of L player, and he kept telling me, "Hey, just hang on. He's gonna get his players. He's gonna get this number one."
Kenny Payne?
Yes, Kenny Payne's
Wow.
gonna get this top recruit. He's just hang in there with him. And I said he can't coach. And I went on a radio show Kenny Payne's first year, at the end of his year.
Right.
And I was already fed up with him in January. And I went on a radio show. It's called The Drive. It's on 93.9. And I literally said to them in my comment, I said, even if Kenny Payne gets a top recruiting class, this is before year 2. I said, even if he gets a number 1 recruiting class, I don't have faith that he can coach them. And I was 100% serious. And so when this player was in my office telling me to just hang in there with Kenny, and I was like, well, why should we? And he said, because if Kenny leaves, the entire team is going to leave. And I said, okay. I said, he can't hold us hostage. I mean, I was that serious.
But who wanted the entire team to stay? I mean, with the stats that we just heard, right?
I mean, he was like, the entire team will leave. I was like, okay. And when the entire team did leave, I was thinking about what he said. And I was like, oh, man, what's going to happen? But, we hired the right guy, and he got a team in there. And, again, I don't know that there'll be a Sweet 16 or a Final 8 or a Final 14, but I expect us to win twice as many games. And I'm saying it here, and at the end of the year, I want somebody to come back and say he was right. They're going to win twice as many games. If I'm a betting man, we're going to win 16 games. And I said it last year, and I said it without even knowing who the coach was. I said, if we just have a decent coach, we'll win twice as many games. We'll be 16. Instead of being 24-8, we'd be 16-16. Now, and that's not even a good season for Louisville. But I said, if we had a decent coach, we'd be 16-16. And I stand by it.
And you stand by.
Shows how bad Kenny is. You have to be a bad coach to win 4 games.
Yeah. Hey, y'all, I am so sorry, but I think our sound was probably major low. I just realized the audio wasn't on the whole time.
Are you
serious? Apparently they could hear us because,
they probably turned the volume all the way
They
up.
probably turned the volume. Man, I apologize for that. Anyway, Paul, we're about 5 minutes away. Last comments. Let's start from the back and go forward. University of Louisville basketball.
We're going to be good, y'all. Okay, we're going to be twice as good as we were last year. 16 wins at a minimum. Just mark it up. All these cupcake teams that we play, we're not going to struggle with them like we did with the other coach. We're not going to struggle with the cupcakes.
This is what she said. Listen, she says expectations are so low, Paul.
I know. But, to say that I said we'd win 16 games, which is twice as many as we win, I might even go on board and saying, I mean, if we win 16 games, that's more than 17 games is more than Kenny Payne won in 2 years.
Yeah.
16 games is more than he won in 2 years. Yeah. So, yes, the expectations are low, but that team's going to – I don't want to sit here and put a whole lot of projection on the team and say we're Final Four bound. They're going to be good. They're going to beat some teams that they shouldn't beat. They're probably going to lose a game that they shouldn't lose. I do know what their weaknesses are. We have a lot of tall players, but they don't look beefy and strong, and maybe that'll change. But
if they're shooting three-pointers at a high percentage.
Our biggest, strongest player is I think he's a freshman. So, it might be a problem, but the freshman doesn't look bad. The transfer Noah doesn't look bad.
What about the Okafor? Did I see somebody?
No, he's gone.
Oh, he's gone. Okay.
That's a Kenny Payne player. So the players we have now, they just look so much more energetic. They look like they want to be there. I know you're playing the same clip, but this clip right here, okay, this play coming up where they run a fast break. Remember last year I kept saying Kenny Payne's teams don't even know how to run a fast break. Right. That was part of the problem. That means they're poorly coached. Yeah. So we run a fast break on one of these clips here in a second. I believe it's coming up, maybe.
Yeah, this is probably the short version of it.
Okay.
But these are the three. They're just looking at. They're just paying the highlights.
But it's just the passing is crazy. I mean, we passed more in the first game I watched than I ever seen in any Kenny Payne game. That was at the end of a fast break, by the way. But
they are really posting up on the threes.
You can go watch these games, by the way. The games are sponsored by a new TV station. So the first two games, especially the first one, is poorly produced, but it's a brand new TV station. I forget the name. It's up there at the top. What does it say? Floyd Street Media. It's a brand new media service that's going to be producing these games. And the first one's a little, it's not great quality, but they get better, and they will get better. And I'm not promoting them because I know them or anything. I'm anxious about a new team because now we're going to get to see all our games as opposed to searching all around looking for your games. They're going to post them all on the internet. So you can go out on YouTube and watch and just Google or hit Floyd Street Media, and you'll find all the U of L games we've played so far. And just go ahead and look at the games. You know, they don't come on national TV anymore because of our, 306th ranking or whatever. But you'll be able to find the games through Floyd Street Media. Yeah, Floyd Street Media is making an effort to put the U of L games out so we can all see them because, we just don't have the ratings anymore to draw national attention. And
all right, so we've got, 2 minutes left. Listen, so again, I apologize for the audio hiccup. Maybe that's why we need a producer here.
Say nothing.
This guy right here is maybe you could do it. No, I don't touch anything. But I'm just saying maybe you should just be that substitute producer sometimes.
I just appear on the show.
Floyd Street Media.
Yeah,
by the way, people. Renee, that media name actually matches the street I live on. Just saying.
What's going on here?
We can hear you. I mean, people, many people, Paul, you don't know what's going on. Many people make love through online social media.
That's true. Now,
now that's not what I'm doing with this Renee person. I'm just saying.
That's what it sounds like.
No.
I live on Floyd Street. You're gonna meet me afterward. Let's get together.
No, we were just simply following.
Is this a dating show?
Along. No, this is not a date. You wouldn't let us. Paul will not let us do.
I'll let y'all do what y'all
want. No. Paul will not let us do dating shows here. Paul,
I don't have any control over that.
Paul, you would not let us do dating shows. No, because when we talk about talking about dating shows, the first thing you say is, Carl, I think that's going to be boring. I think people like dating shows. I mean, people like to hear everybody else's mess. That's why they watch the Real House of whatever city, is what I'm saying. Greg from Knoxville, Tennessee, classmate, you are a riot. Yeah, that's why I have all these sticks and with nails in them, man. I like to be a riot and just like to have fun. Anyway, Paul, and now they're gonna, this is what they do at the end of the show all the time, right? They're still giving us, Paul, don't be a hater. I mean,
best here. All right, Monique. Yeah, I'm gonna send you his address. You just show up in a raincoat, like what was that movie? Boomerang. Y'all remember Boomerang?
There's that Kamala Harris laugh again.
Shut up. Y'all remember Boomerang,
Paul
right?
Mullins' version.
You remember Boomerang?
I do remember.
Remember what she did? Showed up in a raincoat.
There you go, Paul. You're a sweetie, Paul.
Thank you. Oh, she wants to get my DMs. Okay. Monique wants to get my DMs. I don't even have none, but I don't do social media.
Send me your address, Paul. Monique, if you live in West Louisville, he gonna send you his address.
Stupid.
I'm just saying that's a prohibited area. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe that may be. We have lunch every day, so there are some things we talk about, and we probably shouldn't say it on the air. But anyway,
love you, Monique.
Well, she said me either. Anyway, we got to get ourselves out of here. Paul, again, this has been an interesting show tonight. Obviously well attended. We've got we've got 65 comments there. I appreciate y'all participating. Love you, Paul.
Love you too, Monique.
Says Monique. Oops. So we need that producer back. Anyway, wait, I don't get no love, Paul?
Oh, it's Renee. I'm not a two-timer, Renee.
She said, wow, okay. Anyway, y'all, we got to get out of here. We've got law offices to run tomorrow. And you got to be in court tomorrow?
Of course.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Thank y'all.
For thank you. Anyway, listen, I am Carl Price. This has been Ice Entertainment Television. Brought us this Conscious Fever thing. And these comments are still coming. Renee, back off, Paul.
No,
okay.
We love
Have a
you,
great
Renee.
weekend.
All right, see y'all.
Hold on. Her say, I got to show this. Renee, back off, Paul. She said, okay. Troy says, have a great weekend. You have a great weekend out in the Bay City. And vote for Kamala Harris, Troy.
Good night, y'all. Good night, Renee.
Good night, Mr. Price. Good night, Renee. Night, Paul. We ain't gone nowhere yet. Damn. Now they trying to get rid
now
of
I'm feeling
us.
like the Waltons.
Yeah. Yeah. Say good night to John Boy, too. Anyway,
Good night, John Boy.
This has been Conscious Fever on Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. I let Fats Domino aid me in saying so long. So it's time for us to go. Don't go nowhere, Paul.
You said it's time to go.
Paul always does it. He just gets up.
Go.
It's time to go before the segment is out. Good night, John Boy. Yeah, good night, Troy. We're not John Boy here. This is a very important election. I know he's quoting the Waltons. I know what
You
he's
are
doing.
listening to Conscious Fever.
Anyway, y'all, we'll be back next week. Remember, I'll be back next week with Judge Stephanie Burke, local district court judge here. We're going to talk about mental health in the court system, which I think is extremely, extremely important for us to do. So we're going to leave you with my friends from Africa singing their favorite song. Just check out the whole song. It's about 4 or 5 minutes long, but it's going to take us out. I'm Carl Price. It's Conscious Fever on Ice Entertainment Television, Conscious Fever Radio. That's Paul Mullins. We will see you, hopefully, next week. You may not be with me next week.
It'll be just